Sex and money, if you make a man feel like they are not capable, you've destroyed him. He will hate you for it. Don't joke. If you like him enough, don't joke. Whether he's not performing very well, there's a way that you tell a man that he's not performing very well, and you don't tell him directly. A guy wants to believe that he's the biggest thing that's been inside of you. But if you ever tell him that you have personally had bigger ones, that's a blow to his ego, because it shatters the myth and turns it into reality. And trust me, that's the moment he will start cheating on you. You see, when it comes to men like this and their ego, you have to be very careful not to bruise it. Because sex is a big part of a man's mind. And if he knows that he's not as experienced as you, especially when you tell him about your history, your sex capade, he will just want to go out there and not a few more to feel man enough again. And that will hurt you. As a woman and a lover, one of the things that you take upon yourself is to change a man for the better, right? You see his flaws and his imperfections, and you want to help him improve upon them. After all, many men are like diamonds in a rough. You tell him you have seen bigger. Are you mad? Almost every guy knows there are other guys who have bigger packages that need a bit of polishing to become better versions of themselves, right? But when you do this, you need to make sure that you don't accidentally emasculate your man in the process, because that would be detrimental to your relationship or to the success of your relationship. When you're in a relationship, I think that it is each partner's selfless love that helps their partner become the best version of themselves that they can be. I think that's true to a degree. But you have to also remember that if you go too far, you risk changing him beyond all recognition. And that's not the aim here. So this is what I would tell you. Let him be who he is, but help him smooth out those rough edges in time. Don't make him feel guilty for his character and his flaws. We all have them. After all, we're not perfect either as women. So in this video, I will be giving you women 14 things that you do as a woman which could potentially break your man. Because you never know if you've been emasculating him. First things first, I need you to understand that you have to make sure that there is mutual respect in your relationship, because in truth, most men feel emasculated all the time already. So if your guy starts to believe that you don't trust him or you don't respect him in a relationship, he will feel a lot more emasculated than other men out there. Then he will start to look for the first thing he can do to feel like a man again. He will immerse himself in his work to earn more money and feel more powerful. Or he will just run behind another woman who can make him feel like a man again. And that's not what you want. So this is me saying that mutual respect in a relationship plays a big part in a relationship's longevity and the happiness both of you experience. Without respect, your relationship is doomed to fail. After all, how would you feel if your partner constantly pulled you down, belittled you, and made you feel less than your true self? You would leave, right? So why would you want to do that to your man? Why would you want to do that? A man always feels emasculated when his wife or his girlfriend believes he's not good enough. Look, ego plays a big part too. When a woman loses an ego battle, she feels controlled and restricted. And when a man loses an ego battle, he feels emasculated. And one of the major signs a man feels emasculated by you is that he will start to communicate less openly with you. He'll be quiet around you. He will feel like he can't say something to you because you will think he's stupid, dumb, or a loser. And you don't want to make your man feel that way. It will be miserable for you, except you're cheating out there. A guy can confess about many things to his girlfriend, but if it threatens his manliness, it's the one thing he would want to hide. Men who are emasculated by the world don't want to appear weak. They hate having to ask for help because they believe they will appear weak and less manly by asking for help. So here are some of the ways that you might be emasculating him without you knowing. Without you knowing, because sometimes women we do things, we go overboard. Number one, you take over. See, don't push him aside and take over a conversation or an argument, especially because you believe he's not arguing his case well enough, or because you think you're more intelligent than he is. The fact that you intervene will make him believe that you think he can't stand up for himself or he doesn't know what he's talking about, and that can bruise his ego. Number two, you brag about your history. If you notice that you brag now and then about your sexual history or his inexperience with life just to put him down, or how much you've made, how much money you have in your pocket, or if you're a big time earner compared to him, knowing full well that he can't compete with you, that's the beginning of you making him feel emasculated, making him feel less of a man. Also, especially sex and money. If you make a man feel like they are not capable, you've destroyed him. And I think he will hate you for it. Don't joke. If you like him enough, don't joke. Whether he's not performing very well, there's a way that you tell a man that he's not performing very well, and you don't tell him directly. You see, when it comes to men like this and their ego, you have to be very careful not to bruise it. You have to be very careful. Don't bruise it. Because sex is a big part of a man's mind. And if he knows that he's not as experienced as you, especially when you tell him about your history, your sex capade, he will just want to go out there and notch a few more to feel man enough again. And that will hurt you. Number three, you scoff at his salary, or you laugh at his salary. You mock his salary. That's over. A man subconsciously feels like the hunter and the provider in a relationship. So you laughing at the one thing that society has convinced him is his role as a man, earning money for the family. You've definitely made him feel like he's less of a man. And you will see that ego battle. The silent treatment that he's going to give you will be so deafening that you would want to run away from the house. All I'm trying to say is that there are ways that you can play with a man. There are ways that you can play with a man and win the race. Especially if you're newly married. Because, 1 year of marriage is not easy. The first few years of marriage, staying with a man, it's not easy. Trying to understand him as a woman, it's not easy. It only takes the grace of God and you being patient and intuitive to understand and live peacefully. Number four, another way that you might be making him feel like he's being emasculated is you telling him he's a wimp. Don't ever call your man a coward just because he couldn't confront someone or deal with a situation. Are you okay? Instead, reason with him and talk about, what the better action could have been. And be sure to empathize with him at the same time. Don't make him feel like he's less of a man because he couldn't confront a certain situation. Don't do that. That's if you treasure your marriage or you treasure your relationship. Okay, and the next one is you comparing him to other men in a bad light. Any woman who does that is a stupid woman. You don't know what it takes to be a woman. Do you know what it takes to be a woman living with a man? It takes you being smart, you being slow to speaking, you being quick to reasoning, analyzing, temperament, analyzing sensitivity of your partner and how he would react to certain things that you would say. Marriage or let me not talk marriage now. Relationship, being with a man or being with a partner takes calculation. You have to calculate. No guy likes being compared negatively to another guy, especially by his own woman, his own wife or girlfriend. Just don't do it. It's disrespectful and awful. And if he did the same thing to you, you'll be so mad and extremely upset at him. I don't think you would even forgive him, because I know for women, you will bring it back after 10 years. He might just be sitting down laughing about something that happened or something that was said in the TV that looked like something he did, comparing you with another girl out there. And you might have, you would bring it, oh, you're laughing, just like something you would do or something that you had done 10 years ago. You know how women we are now. Number 6, you emasculate your man when you talk about his flaws. If there are flaws you need to confront, talk about them in private and never in front of anyone else. Never. Talking about his weaknesses in front of others will make him angry. It will anger any man and make him withdraw from you emotionally. Don't do it. Even if it is paining you, as in like you're upset, you want to tell him your mind there and then. Hold it, control it. Control your emotion. Don't speak it there. Even when he's driving, maybe you guys were in a gathering and he says something, you want to object, or you want to tell him how upset you are about certain thing that he has said or he has done. There, don't do it. Restrain yourself. Even in the car, don't even say, when you get home, you can, after you've settled in bed, you tell him. Let me tell you something. There is time for everything. You have to calculate the time. You have to see when it is a good time to talk about this, so that you do not aggravate the issue and make him feel like something. You get the drift. All I'm saying is that sense you use sense. You use your sense in your relationship, so that you do not make him withdraw from you emotionally. Because when a man withdraws from you emotionally, it will be hard though. Life for you would be hard with him. Number 7, when you go on and you say things like, I knew you wouldn't be able to do it. Oh, I knew you would fail at it. Oh, I told you so. Didn't I tell you you're going to do this? Didn't I tell you it was going to fail? Even me as a person, I don't like it. I will shut down. I won't tell you anything about me again. If I made a mistake, you come and you tell me, oh, didn't I tell you we're going, didn't I tell you don't do this? I told you now, you did not ask me for information. You did not ask me, for more information. Don't tell me that. I came to tell you about certain thing that happened. I'm not asking you to come and gloat around how you had told me, how you had warned me about it. Just listen and say, oh, sorry. Next time, let's try this other way. Because hearing this kind of lines from a woman that he likes or he loves feels like a painful low blow on his scrotum. And the worst part is that he can't even argue the case himself because he's filled in your eyes. Number 8, you stare at the ceiling when he's on top of you. You really can't blame yourself if you don't enjoy having sex with your man. But if he stares into your eyes while both of you are locked in a passionate embrace, and he sees that you're staring at the ceiling or you're yawning like you're bored already, his member will just shrivel into a pinky in no time. And this goes for faking it and getting caught. All right. Number 9, you tell him you have seen bigger. Are you mad? Almost every guy knows there are other guys who have bigger packages, but it's a truth he would rather not acknowledge or talk about. A guy wants to believe that he's the biggest thing that's been inside of you. So other guys who have bigger packages is an urban legend or a myth. It's something that may be possible, but there is no evidence to back it up. But if you ever tell him that you have personally had bigger ones, that's a blow to his ego, because it shatters the myth and turns it into reality. And trust me, that's the moment he will start cheating on you. Don't you dare. Number 10, you criticize or you downplay his achievements. Ah, does your man, probably announce his achievements to you, however small? And if he does, how do you respond to it? Is he with a pat on his back and a big smile, or with, oh, don't worry, I'm sure you can do better next time? Ah, God. See, you downplaying even his smallest achievements will only make him more distant from you. These are the little things that make men feel emasculated and make men run away and just feel like you're a disgust or a disgrace to womanhood. Number 11, I know we like to yell, but you yelling at your man is only acceptable, but only if he's a yeller himself who can argue his case. But if your guy isn't a yeller himself, you will only scare him. You will shut him down and you will make him whimper away to a corner. You don't want that. Number 12, you make him feel like a failure. You may not say anything directly to him, but for some reason or another, or maybe by your action, if your man starts to think that he's not good enough in your eyes, he will surely feel emasculated by that thought. Number 13, you flirt with other men. I mean, harmless flirting with other men, I don't think it's really that bad, as in like harmless, so as long as you do it in the right way. You flirt with other men when you're at a party or a get together, but as soon as your man steps into the room, stop. Or you tease other men, but make sure you cling onto your man's arm and you give him all the attention. Just don't do anything that causes him to feel disrespected or used. And you know what harmless flirting does? Just watching how other men in a room envy him will give your guy a huge ego, and it will definitely boost his masculinity. But if you flirt with other men and you completely ignore your own man, then you will definitely emasculate him and infuriate him. I mean, why would you even do that? So it's very similar to how a guy feels when he's cheated on by his girlfriend. In fact, you wouldn't even like a harmless flirt with another girl from your man, by your man, whichever way. Number 14, you telling him he's not man enough. This is the biggest emasculation. This is the biggest blow a man can get. Don't ever tell your man you think he's not man enough just because he doesn't behave the way you think he should in a particular situation. Now, in case you're guilty of all these things that I have said, I think it's time for you to know how to help your guy feel less emasculated. Because, hey, emasculated men don't feel unhappy. Unhappy men feel emasculated. It's the simple truth. So if your man is happy with his life, proud of his achievement, and feels confident about his own abilities, he will not feel emasculated, even if you criticize him for not being man enough. His own ego will cushion the blow, and he will still feel very much like the manly, macho man he thinks he is. Only when a man is down in the dirt and feels emasculated himself would any rude statement from you emasculate him further. So remember this. If your man feels emasculated or broken down, it's not always your fault he feels like less of a man. But don't make the situation worse. Of course, by avoiding saying things that emasculate him further and by giving him the emotional support, you could definitely help him bounce back faster and become a better man all at once. What you need to do is just to make sure that you're not the one who is accidentally making him feel worthless by avoiding the things that I have talked about here. So here are a few ways that you could boost your man's morale and help him feel more of a man. Use these tips and trust me, he will be a happier guy and a better boyfriend or a better husband. Number 1, stop treating him like a child. Yelling at him like you would yell at a child will only emasculate him further. If there's something that you would want to talk to him about, talk to him calmly. Number two, don't constantly correct him. When he talks about his bad day or he tells you about a mistake that he committed, don't tell him what he could have done better. Doing this just stops the communication because you're already offering a solution when he just wants to talk to you about his bad day, about his situation. All you just need to do is listen to him, empathize with him, and offer suggestion without forcing them down his throat. He knows he screwed up. He knows there are a million things that he could have done differently. Don't make him feel worse about it, all right? Number three, give him space. Give him some time off every week so that he can go out or spend some time by himself. Just help him have a social life with other men, or subtly suggest he does something manly by asking him to help you fix something around the house, okay? And what else again? Number four, you could thank him when he offers you help. A man feels more like a man when his woman behaves like a lady around him. So be courteous to him. And when he does something for you that he considers manly, like lifting something heavy or fixing a door, fixing a light, whatever, just compliment his strength or his manliness at the same time. It will just give him that macho boost that he needs badly, that he craves from you. Number five, help him improve, but make sure that he thinks it is his idea. Make suggestions for him or help him become better at something that he's already good at. Try that by motivating him without, babying him. Every time he succeeds at something or achieves something through your motivation, he'll be grateful to you and he will feel more like a man at the same time. By doing this, you're guiding him rather than pushing him. And this will make him feel like it is his own idea to do something rather than you directing him all the time. Number six, communicate with each other. Open up and talk about each other's failures and successes without being judgmental. And most importantly, empathize with him. Empathize with your man and tell him clearly that you understand what he's going through and that you too would have been just as confused if you were in his place. By saying that, all you're doing is that you're comforting him and letting him know that it's a human thing to make mistake while offering suggestion at the same time. It's a win-win situation, and no ego enters the picture here because you are stating that you would have felt the same way. You would have felt just as helpless as him if you were in his place. So once he learns to communicate with you instead of feeling threatened or emasculated by you, he will only feel more confident about himself. He will also love you more for being the best thing to happen in his life. These are all of the things that you can do. These are all of the things that you can do to win a man's heart totally, keep him locked down. So do you feel like you emasculated your man in some way or another from all of the things that I just said? Just keep these subtle things in mind, and most importantly, help your man feel less emasculated by communicating with him like a man, not like a baby. After all, love can only get better with communication. Okay, so this is where I'm going to end it until I come your way. When I come your way, do know that I love you. And do me a favor, share this video to all of your friends, to all of your WhatsApp groups, to all of your support groups. I need us to hit 200K subscribers before the end of next month, okay? Know that I love you and know that you mean the world to me. Thank you so much, guys. I love you. Mwah.